I said some shit that was so fucking cold. Well, this video ain't getting monetized. Whips.
That didn't seem correct.
Did it work?
I mean, the thing that was trying to kill me just suddenly disintegrated, but I don't know.
I'll get to the story during the puzzle part of this episode. So as everybody knows, it was Thanksgiving yesterday. Or maybe they don't know. Because it wasn't yesterday, today's Saturday. They let me say that. Both of these people, both of these jackasses heard me say that, and neither of them tried to correct me. I can't trust neither one of them. No. No, I'm just dumb. My mom's made a, I'm gonna just long story short, I'm gonna make a, my mom's made a Kentucky, what you call the Kentucky butter cake. Which is a motherfucking pound cake. Eat my dick. It was a pound cake. So today, I decided I was gonna have me some of this pound cake. And here's what happened. So she told me she had put a glaze on it. And I'd had some of the cake 2 days prior. And so the day we had the cake fresh, I assumed that the reason the top of the cake was wet, y'all ain't gonna like this story. I assumed the reason the top of the cake was wet was because she had put the glaze on it fresh. But then I had some of the cake yesterday, and it was still kind of wet. Actually, let me rephrase that. It wasn't kind of wet. It was fucking wet. And so hold on. Puzzle stuff, sorry. And so today, I just woke up this afternoon, like the bum I am. Woke up this afternoon, and I had me some of the cake. And the reason I'm telling this story is how do I put this? It tasted off. Immediately as soon as it got in my mouth, it tasted off. And I was like, what did you put on this cake? Did you put milk on this cake? And my mom's a jackass. So I just don't want to clarify that. She's one of those people who's I'm an asshole, I don't care. And that's why she ain't got no fucking friends. And that's why she's always bored and alone. So, there's do better, motherfuckers. Which is why I always say when I meet somebody who doesn't have friends and then they call me an asshole, I'm like, why do I have friends then? How is it that people tend to fucking like me? I'm trash, but you're alone. Okay. So I was like, did you put milk on this? And her response was not necessarily no, but it was no with the indignance of you fucking retard. I didn't put no goddamn milk on that motherfucking cake. Beautiful. And then she proceeded to try to explain that it was the stuff in the can. And I was like, you mean the evaporated milk? I was like, yeah. And I was like, are you retarded? I just asked you if you put milk on the cake. You said no. And then you proceeded to tell me you put evaporated milk on the cake. And then her explanation was she put the evaporated milk in a bowl and then put sugar in that and just mixed it together. And I was like, did you cook the milk? And she's like, no, I didn't cook the milk. Again, with the indignance of speaking to somebody who clearly doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And so I was like,
battle that grave will provide.
what? And so like I was like, so you poured milk on bread and then left it out for 2 days in front of the heating vent. And I was like, I'm throwing this away. And I'm only bringing this up not because I'm petty, but I mean, I am petty. But I'm bringing this up because my stomach still feels funny. I can still taste it. And I'm still very upset about it. And I don't know how else to, like, I don't know how else to explain that to y'all. I was like, I can still very much taste the sour milk. But I do love, like, the idea, well, I don't love it, but the idea of the look she gave me when I threw the cake in the trash can was exactly what you'd expect out of a fat person when you throw cake away. Y'all can do nothing with that story, or you can do everything with that story. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to use it now because I didn't even touch him. But yeah, if y'all going to put milk on cake, first off, Mark, why the fuck would you pour milk on a cake? I appreciate everybody, like, I appreciate your stunned silence. Like, to me, telling that stuff. I appreciate...
And do try not to fuck up.
I appreciate y'all's stunned silence. Well, I already told you, yeah, but still. There's nothing
There's a
to
lot
say.
of story stuff happening. I clocked out after...
wet bread?
Did you put milk on this?
I wish I could. I wish there was something I could do about that. But there wasn't.
I do not know the story of this ring.
Wasn't it petty as fuck? Oh, I didn't even get the first tick down. Ugh. I'm not gonna do this the whole fucking episode. I've been on the plus side. If I do use the resurrection stone and I die, I don't have to buy another one. But yeah, she poured, like, that's the only thing I say. Like, she poured milk on the top of the cake. She didn't make an icing. It wasn't like she used powdered sugar and milk or powdered sugar and lemon juice. It was just...
Or whipped up the milk to, you know, make a cream.
No, it was like it was evaporated milk and sugar. And that was it, apparently. And, like, I'd say, like, that's, like, it goes without saying that this is, like, why I have, like, my take on, like, I didn't intend to do that. Like, that's, like, why I have my take on, like, the relationship. Like, the relationships that parents have with their kids that I do is because, like, mine don't have, how would I put this? The relationship both of my parents had with their parents were trash. Like, super trash. Like, all the stories that my mom and my uncles have ever told about my grandmother, who I never met, was, like, the thing you walk away from those stories is that she was a fucking raging cunt. Like, she was an insane person who probably never should have had children. And as far as my dad goes, like, his relationship with my grandfather, who I did know, wasn't positive. Like, and I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that, you know, my grandfather was just an old black dude, and there's a specific way that black men have to raise their kids at a certain, depending on the era in which they're being raised. And, like, my dad, I feel like, I won't say that he took it out on me, but he imparted a lot of what he experienced from my grandfather onto me. And I think that he thought, like, I don't know what he thought. I can tell you he was fucking wrong for most of it. And I it's the reason I feel the way I do about a lot of stuff. And it turns into this whole,
Do not worry about me.
They didn't have it in them to fight back or stand up for themselves. So the idea that, like, you know, I do is problematic for them. Like, and I hate that because, like, I interpret that as, like, you don't need to be happy with who you are. Like, if I, for whatever reason, have whatever my opinion is of you, that's what you should walk away with. If I tell you you're not good at this, then you're not good at it. If I tell you something's a bad idea, it's a bad idea. Regardless of, like, you know, at some point they were, you know, what I want to say, at some point they were children, so they should know, like, you know, that's not the way to live. But at the same time, they wouldn't, you know. I don't think it's in them. We're gonna try it this time. And I don't know, man. I feel like if you got kids, like, the whole experience of having children really does come down to want them to be better than you ever were. And I mean, like, if you can't afford to give your kids the opportunities that your parents didn't give you, that's cool. But tell your kids to shoot for the stars, and tell them that they can be whatever they want to be. And, like, even if they're, like, going down paths that might not lead them to something of, like I don't know, like an amazing nature, like, still, like, let them know that, like, there's always an opportunity to do better at, you know, at life, and that, you know, you should, if you want to do better, you can.
It's always possible.
Yeah.
Flight path of this goddamn bird.
Mark, point at one spot and then just wait.
No.
You're gonna waste more time doing that than you would if you just waited. Also, I don't know if you can use the spear. I've not used it yet.
You can. I've gotten one.
And to those who are watching this, like, watching this stream, which is nobody, I'm watching it too, and I hate it.
Yeah, I know, right?
HJALTI the stolen.
That's... We...
I felt that one, brother.
I will say that the axe has a bigger hitbox, though.
Well, yeah.
And that's the major difference.
I got hit by that? Hit my tank.
Got hit in your tank? I also realized I could be climbing up, and that would probably be easier.
You're still trying to hit it?
I was.
No, I looked down and you were still trying to hit it. But yeah, like, tell your kids that they're, I don't know, man. It's it's definitely, like, why in the first God of War there was that scene at the very beginning where Kratos was gonna put his hand on Atreus' back, and I was like, just do it, man, for fuck's sake. Like, cause this whole, I'm not saying that tough love doesn't have its place. Like, you do have to love your kids, like, tough, because the world outside is very difficult, and it don't give a fuck about you or your kids. Like, it really don't. So, like, you have to love them tough and be real with the shit with them. Because if they go out in the world thinking that everyone's gonna love them as much as you do, they're gonna get hit with the whoop wops. And I'd love to keep talking about how you should parent your kids, even though I don't have kids, but I don't want to lose this fight again. Like, it'd be really nice to be able to beat it.
You know, I've never understood the mentality of like, well, this is how my experience was, so this is how your experience should be, when I clearly knew this experience was a bad experience.
Well, how do you not understand it?
Because I don't like to make other people suffer.
Yeah, but if I teach you how to do something wrong, you only know how to do it one way.
I mean, I guess, but you know that that's not the only way to do it.
How would you know? They've only lived one life. Like my dad's
I mean,
only
but
been.
you've had the experience of seeing it like done other ways, like outside of yourself, I guess.
But they don't always have that.
I suppose that's fair.
And not to mention if you were raised a certain way.
Ow.
If you were raised a certain way and you turned out in a way that you, like, let's say you're happy with yourself. Let's say you are happy with yourself. It would make plenty of sense to you to be like, well, this is the way. Because, like, I turned out fine. I mean, it's the same reason that, like, gangbangers induct kids into the gangbanging lifestyle. They're okay with it, so why the fuck would I not? Why would I have a problem with, inducting someone else into this cyclical, like, awful lifestyle? And it's like, and especially like given it, like, I can't speak for your dad because I don't know how old your dad is. My parents are old. Like, I got here late. But I can say that we grew up in an era where the things that we had available to us, we had things available to us that our parents didn't have. And like, that's really all I can say to that is, like, there was just things there, like, as, you know, and like even me and you, like, we live now in an era where we became, you know, parents. We know that it's cool to tell our kids that we love them. We don't have to, but we know that it's okay to be. Are you ass? It's okay to be, like, emotionally vulnerable with your kids, because I think my dad is, like, very curious as to why I am as, like, close to my cousins as I am, and, like, a lot of it has to do with, you know, we kind of help raise them. And I always felt like love is it. Like, a catchphrase I used was, like, you know, love helps the babies grow, and I feel like that's still the case. Like, the kids like me. Like, it's I don't know how to explain it. It's like, no, you're right. Like, they experience things in a way that they clearly didn't enjoy, but they didn't know what else to do. And, like, you know, when it comes to being a parent, you're afraid for the most part that your kid won't end up they won't end up the way you want them to, or like you're just kind of afraid that if you do something even slightly wrong, they're going to end up in a way that there's no coming back from it, and it'll be your fault. So at the very least, if you raise them the way you were raised, you can know what the outcome might be for the most part. Like, you might be wrong, but at the very least you'll have some kind of idea. Because I don't necessarily consider parenting difficult. but I don't think it's like incredibly easy either. Like I think there's a lot of people who don't like spend a lot of time around children, but they just are. They want to live life as giant toddlers, and so they wonder like, well, why was it so hard for y'all? They know what the fuck they was doing. Like, do you have any idea what like raising a child means? It's a little human being that relies on you for everything, and it needs you to keep it safe, and that's fucking hard. Some motherfuckers can't take care of a dog. It's like, let alone something that they will go to prison for if it fucking dies. Because I will say for sure, like that was like the scariest part of babysitting for me, was like the idea that like one of these little motherfuckers might be hurt or something might happen to them before their parents get back, and it will be my fault. Oh, okay, Atreus. This isn't on you, like in the slightest. It really ain't.
Oh my god, my health just disappeared.
At the very... Say it again, sweetheart. Okay, that ain't got nothing to do with what I said. What did you say? Yeah, personally, I feel like raising kids is incredibly easy, especially if you ain't got to pay for it. Because that's the hard part, in my personal opinion, is paying for them little motherfuckers. Oh, so this has turned into the episode. My bad, y'all. I keep getting like to the very end and dying because I get way too comfortable. Oh.
Thank you. So bad. I don't really know how to feel about the spear. Like, it could just be because it's brand new.
Boom! Damn. All right, Atreus, let's... I really hoped I could last longer than this, but there's plenty of health on the ground out here.
Chris is taking his sweet time closing these rifts. I appreciate this. Probably not like the most simple thing in the world to do.
All he's doing is reading. He's not even reading, he's busting a rap. Yeah, I saw the health. Oh my gosh.
I got stabbed in the back. Lost our Rifa. Those words. Oh man, my sleep today. Carm's been busy. Keep the enemies away. Busy if you can.
Fuck you. Got him.
Tell me more of this king.
He's not worth wasting my breath over. His Berserker champion's even less so. Trash. The
2
lot
hits.
of 'em.
Alright.
There are 12 of them. Yes, they're the champions. I mean, they're the
Before, there's
Valkyries.
Nothing to be done.
Fuck.
Finding that hilt changed things.
Jeez. Yeah, they are the Valkyries, because it really just comes down to learning how to fight them, like each one individually.
Because they all
Grab
have
the
like
sword
a,
and let's get us
not
out
a
of
gimmick
here, yeah?
necessarily, but they have a tactic and
Well, no, they have a fight pattern, like, you know, an actual fighting game. You just have to learn the pattern. Like, you have to know what attack is coming next, and it turns into like a dance that you have to do, and you have to do it well. Shout out to LL Cool J. They don't know. But yeah, like, that's what that is. Like, well, as far as I'm concerned, and I realize that it's very difficult, especially for people a bit older than me, to feel comfortable with that mentality of, you know, because I know, like, my brother is, like, definitely a part of that group where it's like, well, man, your mama, she like, it's, and
Sure
the thing
enough.
that
It's been a bit since we
bugs me
unlocked
the most
mysterious
about it
door.
is
Excited, brother?
it's this like, well, you know, your mama this, your mama that. It's like, okay, well, what about the dad? It's like, cause like, again, like, as a man, I can't be a mom. Well, I mean, in my world, we can't be moms. So like, my thought is basically fuck the dad. Like, is that what you're saying? It's like, it's like, well, no, that ain't what I'm saying. Well, then what are you saying? Because if you would put emphasis on one thing specifically, and like, cause it's not like the whole, well, you said you like oranges, but what about grapes? It's like, no, it's not that. It's like, this is a team.
Like?
This is a group.
Unforgiving.
Like,
Is that why you didn't train me like one? Did you not think I could handle it?
I did not think you should have had to.
Thanks.
like that's all there is to it, and I can't get beyond that. It's like it you know, I don't know. Also, I've heard so many horror stories of moms killing their kids, males and females, that like I really wish people would start to understand that it ain't got a fucking thing to do with like being a mom or this, that, and the third. It's just people are either good parents or they're bad parents, and some people shouldn't have kids. And the people who are like if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't even have a life. Motherfucker, I didn't say I was having fun. It's like being kidnapped and taken to a party and then being ostracized for criticizing the house. I didn't want to be here. Mark, last words?
I'm waiting for the next patch update.
What do you expect to happen?
It was more of a thing about life itself, getting a patch update.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. All right, y'all heard him. Get the fuck out.